Wasso. I forgot I turned my microphone off. Of course. I guess then. So now, now, now we start. We're 2 minutes early, but I'll allow it. Um, so how you guys doing? Thanks for tuning in. I'm glad to see some people show up. That's very nice of you. Today we're making like some Dwarven fort music. I've had a bit of a sabbatical over the summer because of summer, which I guess no one would have watched the stream in the summer vacation anyway. But I'm back. And we're not using Stylus RMX today, unfortunately. That would be a very funky dwarf fort, because that's like a... For those who don't know what Stylus RMX is, it's like a drum machine that makes like really funky beats. For a dwarf fort, the instruments that I've kind of imagined is like bassoon. That's like the first thing that comes to mind for a dwarf fort. Something like low, something like TTRPG music for my campaigns need more of that music. Awesome. Well, I'm making some every week. So hopefully, once I get a huge library, I can be your go-to RPG music library. That's kind of what I'm trying to do here. I'm just trying to... The stream is like helping me write consistently every week, because it becomes an incentive for me to write music. Because otherwise it's so easy to put it off, and then suddenly 4 weeks has passed and you're like, I forgot about it. But within these 2 hours now, I'm kind of forced to write. And I can usually get like quite a lot done in 2 hours. So thank you, Owl. Thank you for your kind words. That's very nice. I'm always happy to have people listen to my music and enjoy it. That's why I do this. Yeah. I released a mega load of music recently, as some of you know. Well, not officially released. I guess I can't say that, but I showcased it. I guess it's the right term. So yeah, I'm glad you liked it. Yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot to expect of you to listen to all of it, but I just kind of put it out there, and it was like, if you want to listen to it all, you can, and if you don't, or if you can't, that's okay. But yeah, it's just because I've been sitting on it for so long. I just wanted someone to hear it, you know. Thank you. I've been working a lot on the mixing. I always thought I was such a terrible mixer, and I still think I'm not particularly good, but I try my best to get better and better, and I pick up some advice here and there. What really has helped me is like going to people who are way better than me and going to their studios and asking questions and getting them to show me their sessions and be like, what do you do to make it sound so good? And they give me some tips and tricks and stuff. I think one of the coolest the coolest studio I went to was while working with Hypixel. I went to one of the composers over at Riot when we were in LA, and I went into his studio, and it's the guy who wrote the music for KDA, if you know that. He wrote that song Pop Stars, which is like super huge song, and he actually showed me like the session and like how he wrote it and what like plugins he used, and I was just like taking notes, like what are these plugins and stuff. The interesting part is that he wasn't using like anything like super fancy or anything. He was using like Serum, and obviously the vocals are really good, you know, so it makes it I wouldn't say it makes it easy, but it makes it easier when you have such a good source to work with. Obviously, you had to write the song, and the song is great. Um, so and then he used like fab filter, just like, you know, these this like it's become like an industry standard thing to use this like IQ fab filter, and yeah, he taught me a couple of tricks. Track spacer is a really good one. It's like a resonance control sidechain thing. Anyway, let's get into the Dwarf Fortress. I can get really deeply nerdy about mixing if you want, but I wouldn't say I'm like super nerdy. But when I start talking about it, I realize that maybe I am. This is like a Dwarven sound, though. I don't know why, but my follow sound is like a Christmas sound. I don't know how to fix that. Oh no. I have to sort this out. It's been like all summer since I haven't been here. And I thought I had my stream sorted out, like set up and stuff, but I'll have to fix that for the next time. I guess this session you'll have to contend with Christmas jingles, even though it's like August. Has it really been that long? I guess it has been since before February that I streamed last time. It's been like half a year. Hey Nervy, welcome to the stream. I've been the entire last days hearing the Hytale portfolio of amazing pieces. Thank you so much. Yeah, the Hytale music was 10 years of work. It was 9 years and 5 months that I worked on it. Most of the stuff in Portfolio 1 I wrote between 2016 and 2018, actually. I wrote a lot of music, most of the music probably in that period. Yeah. Gotta find a tempo. I always try and find a tempo to begin with here. Dwarves, they're not fast. They're short and stocky. Yeah. It sounds like a lot. It sounds a lot like something I just wrote for another soundtrack, actually. Maybe I can get away with it. There's a clear upgrade from your first title songs and the new ones. Thank you. Yeah, I would hope so. That I've improved a little over 9 years. But I agree. Like the old songs have like a certain kind of magic to them that it's difficult to replicate because I've wrote it. I was, you change over time and you're in a different mind space. At one point and later in life, you're in a different mind space and, different place in life, and your mentality kind of changes and the choices that you make changes based on that, like how you mature. And like when I was younger, maybe things were less refined and there's like a certain charm in that I want to try and preserve, but it's ultimately like it's difficult. But I try and explore the value in like the newer kind of more mature kind of sound as well. But yeah, I try and be careful not to get like too mature because then it like I don't want it to lose character and become like too wishy-washy and like, you know what I mean? Oh, why did it just turn so low suddenly? Oh yeah, it's controlled by modulation, that's why. Gotta do the mod wheel. What are your favorite songs that you made working on the Hightail team? The favorite song... Oh, I definitely the ones for like the grass areas, you know, the green forest areas. I think that was my favorite stuff to work on, because it's so cozy and nice and like very like classic RPG vibes, you know, like just and you can do a lot of beautiful like jazzy orchestration and mountain trek. Thank you. Yeah, that was actually kind of like an outlier. Like I didn't know how it was to like. I think the reason why that one became so popular is actually because it's one of the very few tracks featuring a live instrument. It's got a live violin in it. There's like no other music pretty much has that, apart from some of the desert ones. I recorded some like deserty phrases with a violin player. But yeah, it just shows that the power of live instruments is like big. That because it has that like human impact, you know. How do you stay organized when creating so much music? I am not organized. If you looked at my folder, you'd be like, "Oh my god." Well, I tried at one point. I tried to like organize it into like areas in the game, like this is all the songs for this area, this is all the songs for this area, but the rest is just kind of like blah, blah, blah. And some of them are even labeled wrong, so it's like I have to know or remember what I called the song, and then I change the name later, and I, you know, or I put like another song inside a folder for that was actually a different song, and now I have to remember that that song actually is in that folder together with this other song, and it was a nightmare. And I don't know why I never spent time to go through and fix it, but I just I just don't do that. I just don't do that. I don't know. I couldn't be bothered. That's the truth. And I was like, it's fine. And until it isn't fine, I will just not do that. Hello, Oscar Games. Thank you very much for your time. LNJ and music. Thank you so much. Yeah, thanks for coming and thanks for listening. I'll change it a little bit because it's a bit too similar to another soundtrack I just worked on for a game called Blanky, which is coming out next month. You should I'll plug. Well, actually, I'll plug the game here. Actually, while you guys are here, I'll plug the game since you're here for some music. I actually made some pretty cool music for this game. Right now, this is if you go on this. Does that work? Can you click on that link? I don't know. Probably. Right now, I'm making a dwarf fortress kind of soundtrack. I think we'll have to start with actually a little roll, a little bass drum roll. It's better to have that low one. The dwarves are kind of sneaky, I guess. I wonder if I have some kind of choir vocals, like some. I have some tavern singers. I don't know, like a dwarven. Imagine like a dwarven choir. Yeah, let's just double that. maybe. I'm not just sure about this last note. Like, I don't want it to be like too much. Nah, maybe it doesn't matter. Let's just keep it like this for now. Do we need any percussion? Dichotomy of Chaos. Thank you. I had a lot of these songs have different names, actually. I just had to change them because of legal reasons. So I wish I could tell you what the song was actually about, but I can't. Well, it's not really spoilers. It's not really spoilers. I was just told to be really careful, so I had to. Just for safety's sake. I wonder if I have like an anvil here. I think I do actually. I like how we were talking more about Hytale than about music composing. Yeah. I mean, this is it's fine. I've accepted that that can happen, or that it will happen, or it might happen, or whatever. It's okay. I'm happy that you're here and you're enjoying what I do. And I mean, I'm making music here. I made music on Hytale, and it's just another. Well, I wouldn't say it's just another project. It's like the project, but you know, who knows? Maybe it'll be the biggest project I ever worked on. I mean, it's not every day you work for 10 years on something, you know. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, when you shape a sound through a decade of, you know, working on like a style, you know, it's like it becomes like kind of a part of your identity. I don't think I try not to let the style of Hytale kind of bleed into this work because I try to make this kind of like slightly separate. But I mean, definitely there will inadvertently be some parts that sound more Hytale than others. But I feel like Hytale is like a very specific kind of collection of instruments and motifs. You know, the motifs make a huge difference. Like some of you guys have pointed out that this music sounds like consistently like Hytale. Like a lot of it sounds like Hytale across different tracks, and I think that a lot of that is thanks to the motifs. You know, if I just keep using the same motifs over and over, just in different variations in different places, then it'll kind of subconsciously or consciously give you that like Hytale feel. Is this an anvil? I think this is an anvil. This sounds like a cowbell. That's a kind of a weird sound. You can like tune it down. That could be like a cool like kind of low backing. I just tuned it down by like 16 seminotes. I guess at the end I'll do this like high bit. Yeah, this is kind of like, oh, low in the background here. You said, you're saying you have it backwards. Hightail sounds like Oscar Garment's music. Yeah, I guess. There's some sound that sound more generic, but it doesn't happen to Hightail. Thank you. I have heard some people say Hightail sounds generic, but I like to think that if you listen to it, if you really listen to it, you'll notice the, you know, the identity that's kind of in there. Soul Decider what sounds like Hightail, so that's true. Yeah. Okay, I'm gonna bring in some muted horns. Where are my muted horns? Oh yeah, I think it's in the horn rips. Hightail's not generic. It's just a easy leitmotif. I think the people who would say that would listen to it at a surface level, I suppose, and be like, it sounds like RPG adventure music. Because, I mean, I hope it does. Because obviously, for me, it's kind of like you have to balance the familiar with the unfamiliar or like the interesting. Because if everything is unfamiliar, then it becomes more tiring. You know, because when you go to a concert with music that is really complicated and you feel literally like tired in your brain, there needs to be like a certain amount of predictability for music to be comfortable, And when you're playing a game like Hightail, it needs to have a comfort factor. That was always like very important for us, that it had a comfort factor to it. And so that was part of it, not making it too like I don't want to say jazzy, because I always try and find an excuse to make it jazzier, and Kieran will testament to that. I love adding jazzy harmonies and stuff like that. My thoughts on Traveling Band? Well, Traveling Band I kind of wrote as like a variation on the main theme that was like da 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 da. That's like the main theme. Da da da. So Traveling Band is like da 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 da. Because there's another theme that I was gonna like, another theme that was like da 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 da. That I wrote that earlier, before Traveling Bands. It's kind of like an evolution of the themes. The first one came like da 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 da, and I was like da 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 da, and then da 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 da. So it's like it just developed into that. How often do I stream? I stream once a week, and this time from 8 Central European time. Need to play the game. Yeah, well, we'll see what happens. I can't say. I don't know. I don't know what's gonna happen. I'm hoping that we get a happy ending. Try and be as big as possible. So that's all I can say. I literally don't know. Got a question for you. Been working on a game solo, and because the game is not just with music, but about music, I have to learn everything there's about music theory and music composition. What I'd like to know is, how much time do you spend just mastering, tinkering around to find a melody or the correct sound, developer identity of sorts? More so, how much time does it take for you to go? Sure, this sounds cool too. I have everything laid out in my mind. Very good question. Finding sounds can be incredibly time consuming and frustrating because if I'm developing a sound, then obviously 80% of the time you're spending is like just looking for sounds. And it can be like, am I even a composer anymore? Like, I'm just looking through sounds. Like, you know, especially when you're working with like electronic music, because when you're working with orchestral music, it's kind of like there's like the usual suspects. You know, you have the orchestra, and you can like, I have this orchestral pack or whatever, and maybe you get to a point where you have multiple string libraries and you have to like find the right string sound. But most people have like one or maybe two string libraries because they're very expensive, you know. So on Hightail, I only used like two string libraries almost. I started using a little bit more later, but I tried to kind of confine it to those strings because I wanted it to be like, this is the sound. If I change it, then it's gonna sound different. So I got to stick to these strings, which I did, which was Sinus strings, mixed with Spitfire chamber strings, and like a multi. And yeah, so I do spend a ton of time doing that. But then I save the sounds that I find as like presets, and as you go along, like in here, you know, you see I've got like, I don't know if you can see this, but yeah, I've got like a ton of stuff saved. Like just the string patches alone is this like long ass list. And I've got brass, I've got all these. Obviously, there's only like five instruments in the brass section. Don't hate me, any brass players, because obviously, you know, that's not entirely true. But the main things is like tuba, trombone, horn, trumpet, right? And there's going to be some euphonium player out there that gets really mad, but I've got like a ton of drum kits. Well, not that much, but I've got this is like big drums transitions. I've got bells and mallets. There's a lot of that. Basses, you know, and there's like some random stuff. And I spent a lot of time developing. I developed like a bunch of sounds for this MIDI controller here. That's called the Linstrument, which is like an MPE controller, which means that it controls like pressure and like movements and stuff, and you can make like some really cool. I have a sound here called creepy AF. This is such a digression. I'm sorry. I just want to play this. Wait, why is it so low? The volume's like super low for some reason. Anyway. Okay. Yeah, my ADHD brain is kicking in now. Yeah, I've got a ton of stuff here. Okay. Right, sorry. Did I ask you your question? I don't know. Yeah, so I obviously for Hightail, it developed the identity as I go, and I wrote like one song, and then I used a lot of the stuff that I did on that to bring onto the next song. But then I wanted to add something new because I was like, I can't do the same thing I did on the last track, so I got to add something new for this one. And then I got to the next song, and I bring all that stuff. And the next song, I'm like, okay, well, I got to add some new thing now. So it's like every track I try and like do something slightly differently, or like add one new sound, or like, you know. But yeah, you were saying I have to learn everything there is to know about music theory and music composition. I mean, I nerded out massively on music theory when I was like 15 or 14 or something, and I learned like the church scales or whatever it's called, like the Mixolydian, Lydian, Phrygian, whatever. And I kind of spent some time playing around with that and improvising. But now I think I'm kind of discovering harmony differently. You know, I don't really think about the theory so much anymore. I just try to play some notes. Like I'll be, you know, kind of like put my hands down and be like, what's this chord? and I was like, I don't know, like, I was like, I guess I know something, and then I try to move my fingers like slightly differently. So literally, sometimes I'll be putting my fingers down like randomly, and I'll be like, it depends what I need, obviously, but and sometimes happy accidents can happen in the DAW. You know, when you're working, you might be writing something, and then suddenly you hit a wrong note, and you're like, ooh, that's kind of cool, and you don't know exactly what happened, and I don't know. Sometimes I analyze it. If I want, like, I got to do that again sometime. Then I analyze what I did. But I think there is a certain magic to actually not knowing. You know, not really knowing. There's a certain kind of magic to that as well. It kind of keeps a little bit of that wonder about it. You know what I mean? But obviously, learning theory, and obviously picking songs, like analyzing songs and learning what they do, is super helpful. I have lots of occasions in programming where I'm almost finished with something and I find something this sucks and do a complete over. Yeah, I think that's a good point of realization to have. Like, if you realize that this isn't working, you shouldn't try to kind of push on necessarily. Obviously, sometimes things can sound better once you push through, and sometimes you gotta sleep on it. You wake up next morning and you're like, oh, this is actually kind of cool. But yeah, if you like kind of try and grind on it unnecessarily, and you know it's gonna be bad, and you just end up disappointed and, you know, sad, that's not good. Right, where was I? Right. Exactly down here somewhere. No. Huh. I thought it was in this library. Ah, never mind. Okay. We're finding some muted horns. Oh, maybe I have it on here, actually. Never tried Cinematic Studio Brass muted horns before. But yeah, sometimes you gotta just start from scratch. My hair's muted. Where am I? Oh, too high? There we go. I don't know. Is that Dwarven? It's kind of like a bit kind of, how do I even describe it? I don't know. I get a feeling that's like kind of dwarfy. Is that what you say? Maybe this for the second turn around. Oh. Oh, these aren't quantized. Move that into place. Yeah. So we'll... No, maybe it should come before, actually. Okay, we're gonna get the last note there, just to keep it a bit more unexpected. And then we're gonna add like little details as we go, as you delve deeper into the mines. I can actually have another contribussoon. We can have a whole orchestra of contribussoons. This is pizzicato. Can never have too many contrabassoons. Maybe I'll use a different contrabassoon even. Just to try and make it sound a bit different. I have 2 contrabassoons. I find that kind of funny that I've got 2 contrabassoon templates saved. That's how much I like contrabassoon. I think there was a composer, the guy who wrote the music for Ori and the Blind Forest. That was what's his name again? Gary? No. Anyway, he said he hates the bassoon. And I was like, ha, silly man. I do not agree. Here it comes. That was it. Ooh, there's like a release sample on there that I gotta like get rid of. Short release layer, no, off. Ooh. Kind of weird how it like adds more volume on the release, but that's just the nature of the library. Dwarven Fortress. Oh shit, I gotta say this in the right place. There we go. Ooh. Weird release. It's like a bucket. Just like a little thing at the end there. Maybe if I drag it out a bit more. No, that didn't help. I think if I reduce the modulation just in that moment, maybe I can fix it. Wait, no. That didn't. That actually made it worse. Okay. Yeah, that sounds better. And then we'll add some strings. This will be like kind of like a cascading orchestra just coming in, you know, one by one. Everybody gets introduced. I sometimes think of like the instruments as like little characters on a stage, you know. Like, here comes the string dude. It's like an anthropomorphized kind of cartoon character. You know, you say some people see colors. I think I just see little characters. That's my like... What would you call that? I know there's like a word for seeing colors in music, but... Seeing colors, music, that's called synesthesia. I mean, I guess seeing characters would be a kind of synesthesia if it's you're synthesizing. Synesthizing? Oh. I don't know why they chosen that word anymore now. That was like synthesize, but synesthesia. Synesthise. That's not a word. No. This is gotta be legato. Actually. Legato. Oh, that came in too early. I'm very inspired by Harry Potter, by the way. Yeah, this is the only thing I don't like about Cinematic Studio Strings is they've got from 1 point on modulation and 0, there's like... It's like a hard cut in volume. If you want to have like a smooth kind of volume curve, you gotta do, yeah, you gotta do like expression, which is another automation curve here. Which I can do actually now if I do this. Gotta keep that at max because that's like basically 100% volume. Well, yeah, and then you just put like a curve like that to get a smooth like, oops. And then I'll just make another one because I want the strings to come in again, but I want the fade out to be natural. And if I gotta fade it in right after fading it out, it'll sound weird, so we'll do another track of that. Oh, this one will not be legato, actually. Concertito tremolo. What does that sound like? That's cool. Concertino means like you put a mute on the strings. It makes it like an muffled sounding. How many rounds of this little Dwarven march can we do, you know? Do I want to have like maybe like a bell here? Like kind of hearing like a bell in my mind at this final hit. Goes like dang, bang, and like goes like a bell. I don't want it to sound silly. Like I could easily do like a what's that called? I've like a flexitone, you know, like a doo. What stage am I currently in my in the composition process? Good question. Actually, all over the place. I'm writing, and I'm finding, and but the thing is, like, I've already found a bunch of the sounds. You know, I already have all these presets, so it's like I know I want like something low. So it's like, oh, I need a contrabassoon, and then I don't need to go like searching a lot because I have a preset for that, and it's already got some reverb and stuff on it. And then I'm like, I want some pizzicato, and I just load up that preset, and I have it, and I can just play straight away instead of like searching through my libraries and like finding stuff. So I've already done like so much of the prep work, you know, like all these strings, like I have all these string libraries ready, and I can just because I can kind of I've done a lot of I've gone through the motions before as well. Like I've written this kind of music kind of before, so I can kind of be like, well, naturally it just like comes to mind. Like it's kind of like a muscle, you know. What's that emoji? Yeah, but yeah, I'll look for like some sounds sometimes. What was I looking for again? I was trying to put on a bell. Yeah, that's right. Okay, so I've got a bunch of bells. So when I write for OG RPG music, I try to just stick with things that I have. I try to not spend too much time finding sounds because I want it to be like quick, you know. But you can experiment in Contact with like tuning it down an octave and stuff. This bell might be too tonal. I think I have a bell in. And another thing is like if you know your libraries, if you've used them a lot, and having loads of libraries is kind of a curse if you don't spend time learning them. I'm pretty sure I have like a bell here. No, it wasn't here, wasn't it? Percussion, church bells. That's the one. Like a... Yeah, that's cool. Something like that. That sounds very churchy. That sounds a little less churchy, a bit more out of tune. Imagine like in a Dwarven fortress, the bell wouldn't sound like a church bell. I feel like a kind of like a slightly out of tune kind of bell made of iron. Small bell. Ah, it's not a small bell. Pealing church bells? What the hell? Oh, I see. Pigeons flying. They even got that, huh? Interesting. Right. So this is like part of it. Like I'll look for one sound and I'll find like some other random stuff in there and I'll be like, oh, cool. And then if I think about, oh, I need pigeons, you know, at some point, I can't imagine when I would need that, but if I do, I'll be like, oh yeah, that time I looked for the church bell, I found some pigeon sounds, and I can go back and I'll find that. So you kind of have to. It's probably not a good idea to try to learn all of the presets in a library in one sitting. You know, you kind of have to like play with it a bit and then try something else and then go back to it and look for some more stuff and like do it like incrementally, because I tried to go through all of the presets in the library one day, and it was like I got through like 1/8 or something, and I spent like 2 hours. I learned about watching Ben Prentice Subnautica VODs. So what the mood I'm going for now? It's like a Dwarven fortress. I don't know, what does that feel like? It's kind of like a... If your D&D party was like got to like stumbled across a Dwarven fort underground, I guess. Something like that, yeah. And you're like walking around. Maybe you're talking to some dwarves or something. Okay, so here maybe we'll go into a different section. I'm just gonna listen to it again to see kind of like if we are ready for something new, because we might be. This is now how much time? Like a minute? Yeah. So bleh, go away. Oh shit, I just looked it. I feel like it needs something more, probably. Like I think I'll put like a woodwind section. I love woodwinds, so this is another. Hey Connor, welcome. I love wood too. Good. Wood is the best. You are made of wood, pretty much. Right, so here's another thing in Logic. I can save sections of instruments. So it's like I want to have a whole, just like bring in like a woodwind section. I'll just click the button and boom. Hey Taya, welcome. Thanks for being an avid OG RPG music enjoyer. And that goes to all of you, the rest of you as well, of course. Okay, so I'll do some trills. Like that. Maybe I'll do some mix. If you mix it with the oboe, it sounds pretty cool. Okay, so we'll try that for like the second round to bring in some more character. Because after 4 bars of this, you're kind of like, okay, what's going on? So then we gotta bring in something more. Yeah, it's probably gotta be down there. Like 1 up. It's almost kind of like a groove now. This is where we bring in Stylus RMX, by the way. Chicka chicka chicka. That's a lot of scratch samples in there. You want to hear some? Scratch samples are the best. This is in my folder called Weird Shit. Woo! I feel like I should do a different stream with like that vibe. This is like such a different vibe. I'm thinking of making like an album of really, really funky music. So it depends if my wife will let me stream 2 nights in a week. Right, so this needs to go down in volume some. Step tremolo preset. Oh, yeah. I know. That's like super like hightail sound, isn't it? This one, the trills. Just do like fourths. And then you just play like anything on top of that. Yeah, I can't play 2 instruments at the same time on this, unfortunately. Yeah, that's the idea. Yeah, so that's kind of one of the things that is like, I wouldn't do that in the RPG music so much, probably, because that's like it's almost like I've reserved it for hightail. So there's some sounds that I try and kind of reserve for certain projects, and it's kind of like I can't really use it again without it sounding like, it's kind of like when John Williams wrote Star Wars and he wrote other music after, but he tried, but he couldn't help that some of the music sounded kind of like Star Wars as well. Or like Home Alone and Harry Potter is also by John Williams, and they sound incredibly similar. Oh, I love this. Bassoon trills. Bassoon's the best. Bring this down a bit. Maybe we should bring in like a really cool like bassoon melody here, actually. There's I don't know if anyone of you have ever played Hearthstone, but there was an expansion pack in Hearthstone. I mean, I love Hearthstone's audio in general, like all of the voice acting and sound effects and the music is like incredibly good. I played Hearthstone for years. I was always terrible. How long is the stream going for? Until 10 Central Eastern Time. So, and 1 more hour. Yeah. So it's like 2 hours. Because I need more time. I haven't done enough. Well, I mean, 1 minute of music in an hour is not bad, but I'm not finished, obviously, with that minute. What I usually do is like I'll write the same piece for 2 sessions, or I finish it off the session. I'll do a different thing next week. Whoa, whoa, whoa! Oh, I see. I can't do that there because this is doing something. Anyway, I was saying about Hearthstone. I think it's called like it's like a kobold. It's about the kobolds that are like, you know, they're super weird and silly. And it's like take candle. I don't know if anyone of you ever played World of Warcraft. Yeah, so it's like you have these like cool kind of melodies like that. Oh, hey, El. Nice of you to stop by. Right. Anyway, that had a really good soundtrack, and it had this kind of really awesome bassoon melody. First time catching you live. Thank you for coming for the first time to my stream. I wonder if can I get to like did you hear that? I linked up Spotify to this. That's like gonna be like a copyright infringement instantly, but Hearthstone soundtrack, Kobold. Oh yeah, here we go. Oh wait. Oh no, this isn't the one. I wonder if it's possible to find like the actual soundtrack from like a specific music from the tavern. Yeah. Oh my god, there's so much music. Kobolds Gather. Oh yeah, this is the one. Can you hear it? This is the so good. You don't tell me. Written by Peter McConnell, absolute genius. And the best part is he's included like all of the original themes from World of Warcraft and all that. Huge fan of his work. But yeah, it's been a big inspiration on me actually on Hytale music and this RPG music in general, because it's just such a cool. I love his style, and I wish I could play guitar like he does, but unfortunately I can't. I think he plays violin as well, so I can't really play at a lot of instruments. I just blinker on this like MIDI keyboard, and then I like fix all the wrong notes afterwards, so I don't have to actually be able to play. Guess I need to get rid of some of this reverb, I think. I feel like I can't like do too much. Like it just has to be like a color, I guess, rather than like a full-blown melody. Yeah. That's the thing, like I don't really have to worry about writing good melodies in this kind of music, because it's not really supposed to be like a melody that leading you anywhere. It's just BGM, so you can just kind of riff on little bits, more like, you know. And then I can just mirror that little phrase in a flute or something. Yeah, like that. Guess I knew that was coming after, so I had to kind of stop the phrase early. It's a bit laggy. Let's come in a bit earlier there. Can I get a little shorter? You know, this is becoming a melody after all. Kind of. Do. Luigi's Mansion vibes. Yeah. Yeah, I guess. I guess so. It doesn't have to be for a Dwarven Fortress. I think it's good to write some music that can be used for different things. And that's why I'm like careful about not putting too much like sound design in it, because then suddenly you've like excluded like a whole swath of things that it can't be used for anymore anyway. Yeah, I played that wrong, but I'll just do this. Yeah, that's probably that'll land on the. As long as you land in one of the chord notes, you're good. Well, the strings play something else there. No. The issue now is I'm suddenly going into like a different vibe than a Dwarf Fortress. Oh no, what have we done? Yeah, I can't go too high up in the register, because then it's like you gotta like go down again. Yeah, because if it gets too high, then it gets too sneaky. Notice that little at the end. Oh yeah. Okay. So that's enough melody for a bit, I think, for a while. What is it? Right, so this one I want to actually double with something else on top. Diggy diggy hole. Oh my god, what's that from again? Oh my god, where is that from again? Diggy diggy hole. I'm a dwarf and I'm digging a hole. Oh my god, where's that from? Get that. Oh no, it's like it sounds so familiar, yet I have no clue what it's from. You're breaking me here, Håkon. Oh yes, Ryok's cast, of course. Oh my god. Such an old classic time indeed. This is such a weird melody. Oh, that's why I played it wrong. That's why it sounds so strange. I need to listen to it. Diggy Diggy Hole. The Windrose cover. Windrose Diggy Hole. Let's hear it. This stream's gonna be DMCA'd or whatever. But it's okay, we're having a good time. Just for review, right? That's legal. No? Brothers of the mine rejoice! Swing with me! Raise a bigger, raise a voice! This is reference material for the music we're making, obviously. Nice. That's awesome. That inspires me to put a bit more swing into this track, actually. Do 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 do. But I don't know if I can. What if I just like took all of this and just like swing? It's like now it's swing now. What happens? Is that more dwarfy? What do you guys think? It ups the dwarfness. Increased dwarfness by 100%. I feel like I gotta change some of the notes a little bit, but you're right. It does up the dwarfness a bit. add to these as well. That's a beautiful quantization. Reminds me more of Banjo-Kazooie. Yeah, instantly it becomes Banjo-Kazooie now. That's never a bad thing. I think we can all agree. Banjo-Kazooie is awesome. Wait, what? Oh, I see. So all these notes I'm changing. Let's go down. Let's just do that on all of them. There. There. Yeah, like that. Okay, let's listen to it from the beginning again, and that'll give me a clear picture of what it needs to do next. So now I feel like I've kind of almost finished this part, at least. And that's like about a minute, so then we need to kind of go into something else. And I think after we've done that, like written the next section, we can kind of just like do more of the same. You know, that's how you make background music. You just like extend, just if you make the palette, you make the bits that is like the parts, and then you just kind of like move things around a bit and it's gonna stretch it out. It's like jazz dwarves now. We got their swing on. Oh, hold up. I think actually one of these instruments can't go that far down. What? Huh? What? Oh, it's not like too short. Is that a common issue here? Yeah. Little late note at the end there. Yeah. I like that. Oboes. These like nasal instruments, they're just so colorful. There's something really dwarfy about it, you know? Don't you admire my ability to do this, like, incredibly short notes that are almost inaudible? Right. I think I need to just adjust the timing on these a little bit. This one is a bit kind of too late. Oops. It's gotta be connected to the legato, otherwise it gets like its own pickup. No, its own like. I need English horn, I think. I probably don't need anything else. Dwarf Fortress OST. Wait, doesn't Dwarf Fortress already have music? Like a sort of a guitar-y thing? Which is nice, but maybe I should send this to them and be like, hey, you want this? I love swing. Awesome. I guess this is almost like a goblin fortress too, isn't it? Eldrive loves goblins. It's like, maybe I should mute one of these. Actually, maybe I don't need English on there, but I'm gonna definitely use it. New Dwarf music is pretty great. The guitar stuff's really neat. Yeah, goblins are dwarves, but more mischievous. Exactly. And a little less refined in their crafting abilities. A bit more crazy. Although I guess some would argue the dwarves were crazy for digging so deep in those mithril mines. They should never have dug that deep. For they evoke a beast. A mighty Balrog. Anyway, let's continue. Getting into Lothar territory here. I actually just watched all of the Lothar extended editions with my wife. I forced her, you could say, but she obliged. She liked it actually. It's major brownie points for my wife there. I mean, one might say that if she didn't like it, then that was it. So it was forced. It was forced. There was really no choice. Oh, there is English horn in here. Never mind. How else do you think dwarves don't end up pale? Goblins are just dwarves that don't take their vitamin D supplements. How does that make sense? The goblins are green. Like there's nothing related to sun that doesn't or does make you green. Anyway, that's just my pragmatic mind trying to pick apart a joke that was perfectly fine on its own. I mean, what about the Dwergar and the Drow? They're literally like navy colored. And they should technically, I guess, be like super pale. But it's not the real world, so they can be any color. They can be purple for... I mean, some of them are purple, actually. So I guess now we have a choice of what we do next. That's always the thing. Now it's like if I make this next bit like scary and spooky, then it's like you're sneaking into the fortress. But if I make it a bit more like you're in the city sort of vibes that could probably help balance out this previous part, which sounds kind of like a bit sneaky. So I think I'm gonna go with some like pillar chords, you know, in the horns, like just like fifths, kind of like stately, not necessarily stately, but you know what I mean, like. I kind of want it to be like kind of hard as like rocks, like not like an emotional melody, like. But more like just like this, like kind of chords. Oh, whoops. Oh, there was that bassoon. Just throw that down here. Or I could make like a weird, sneaky, but I said I wasn't gonna do sneaky, so. That sounds kind of imperial. I guess it's because it sounds imperial because it sounds a bit like Star Wars. Whenever you do like parallel minor chords like that, it instantly sounds like the bad guys from the Star Wars, or any John Williams score, really. But they could be bad dwarves. I guess the dwarves are kind of, well, I wouldn't say they're like stone cold, but they're like stoic, right? They're very like, uh, they're very warm hearted, but very like, you have to really gain their trust before, but when you do, they're like, you're like their best friend essentially. Uh, you know, they don't take friendship lightly. Essentially, that's kind of how I view dwarves anyway. Very like, very emotional, but like they keep it on the inside. Like they're very proud at the same time. And my axe. Yeah. If I go with that, then I'm kind of keeping with the style that I've already established. If I start doing like the pillar chords, then it can like, it's like suddenly something completely different. Maybe it's like too different. Um, yeah, I'm gonna do a section with muted brass, and I'll have to figure out how I'm gonna make that work. But I've got some good libraries here. So we'll do trumpets and horns and trombones. Muted trumpet. Take away all these to save some RAM. Like literally, if you remove like the sustain, you take away like hundreds of megs of RAM. Always important to try and save your RAM. Thanks for the follow. Not mine. I wonder who that is. Not mine, at least. Thanks for a follow. Eldrive, yay. Good. My army is growing. Oh. A jingle still around. Thank you, Teo. All right. Muted. Wait, why did that sound so weird? There's something wrong with this library. Oh, I see, it's shorts. That's why. What the hell? That's what a muted trombone sounds like. Interesting. The other follow reminded me that it's a feature at all. Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I had like 3 follows just after that. If you guys all follow me loads, then I won't be able to write any music because I'll constantly have the freaking Christmas jingle going off. I should probably make the jingle sound like just like a little pop, so it's like the least like music jingly because it's so like interfering with the. I'm trying to focus on this music and suddenly I'm hearing like something completely different. That's why it's impossible for me to listen to music while I'm writing, obviously. So I've heard probably a lot less music than any of you have. That's kind of cool. Wait, where am I at now? Okay. Yeah, okay, that's what I'm gonna do. Right. The reason I didn't play all those chords is because it's freaking hard to play parallel chromatic. I'll just do this. So I guess if this has higher velocity, maybe there's a stronger attack. No. Okay, so we'll do Just a little bit more attack at the beginning there. Oh, that was a bit too much. Do that. Ah, that's too strong. So, a bit fiddling with the mod. I think I actually got it like that. That's a better curve. Okay, that's too much. So a lot of my job is just doing this. Okay, cool. So the question is, do I even need these other trombones? Do I even need these trombones? Try and... Maybe it sounds pretty. Sounds kind of weird. Yeah, maybe I'll do that. And we'll throw them all into a track stack. And then we'll throw some reverb on it to have them share reverb. Have like a big, like freaking catacombs. That's way too much reverb. But it's nice to have like this like big reverb. If it comes through, that is. Maybe that's a bit too much actually. These are not in time. Just fix that quickly. There we go. Oh. I guess this needs to come a little after. It's weird how this like got so delayed. Maybe it's something about the... I guess it's kind of this... Weird. Anyway. So we're gonna do some like tremolo strings under this. Okay. Tremolo. something like that. Actually, let's go with Altiverb again. Something kind of like a bit sneaky, a bit kind of cool. Thank you for the follow. Oh, hey, Violet. I guess that's you, right? Hello. Welcome. Big fan. Oh. Yeah, there we go. I guess I should make these into like staccato. Why didn't I do that? That sounds like instantly way more. Yeah. That's the one. Beep, 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 beep. Awesome. Very good. Use some of those little cool thingy sounds we found. Metal-y thingy sounds. Wow. That is pretty cool, actually. Maybe I can like put that in some weird way. Yeah, and I'll put like some delay on it just to make it more spacey. But only on that part. So I'll do some mix automation here just to like not have it on the beginning. Yeah. Does that come through? Yeah, that's enough, I guess. Sounds good. Okay. Do we want a string section? Maybe. Ah. Why not? String main. My wife's just making weird faces at me right now. It's taking a little while to load because it's literally got to load like 5 gigabytes into the RAM every time I switch to a different string thing. Yeah, these strings are nice. Thank you. This bus is going nowhere. Maybe let's use a different teldex is never wrong. Whoa. I'm literally just writing random stuff now. Somehow that line just feels kind of dwarfy to me. It's very like, I don't even know how to explain it. It's like dwarfy music. Yeah. Oh, yeah, these sounds were like way up here somewhere. Cool. All right. Okay, gotta fix that. There's a little bug here. You know, when you got like, excuse me. Yeah, you got like delay on the MIDI. You can just quantize it, and then you can add like pre-delay. So if all the notes have the same amount of delay, you can just make it play earlier. So you can get it. Maybe that's like a 32th note, 32nd. I think it's like a 16th even. But always like that's only on the legato. Like I need to. The pickup itself needs to be actually a little bit different. Oh, maybe I should add some voices actually. I forgot about the Dwarven voices. Ho, ho, ho. If I had more time, I could record my own voice doing that. Ho, ho, ho. But, I'm just not gonna do that. I'm gonna try and find some samples. As much as you would probably like to sit listening to me do that. Let's see what I have. If I don't have anything else, I'll do that. I'll do the singing myself. I'll pretend to be a dwarf, which I have done in many D&D sessions. Oh god. That's incredibly loud, sorry. Dwarf time. Okay, so we need to... So much reverb on this. Jesus. It's kind of going glitchy. But if I just pitch this down. Oh. Ooh. I think I have the solution. Just ming. Deep Exactly. M for mining. Well, well, well. Hello, KG. Or KG. It's KG, I know. You're like, what? Sorry, what? How dare you? Instant. I'm good. I'm good, thank you. How are you? How else? KG. Exactly. So... I know a bunch of folk in Bristol. Oh, yeah. I heard about this. Good time. I wish I could have gone. But I had already promised myself away to a family affair. Yeah, I'm going to Strasbourg actually. In September. Probably going to Bristol in September as well. Does this sound like a Dwarven choir? Why have I done this? How goes making the boobs and the dudes? It goes really well, actually. I've got a bunch of little bits and bobs I'm working on. I'm doing a bunch of indie games now under the name Ampujam, which you can follow in Blue Sky. It's a bit more electronic, so I kind of separated it from the Oscar Garvin name. I don't know if there was any point in doing that, but I kind of feel like it just felt right, I guess, to have like a sort of a separate brand, I guess, of this like more funky electronic thing that people probably know me as more of this orchestral composer. So thought I'd kind of start fresh with like a new name, and anyone from my original audience are obviously welcome to join me on that journey. But it's kind of like starting fresh in a way. You'll be wearing a motorcycle helmet next. Yeah. Doing like Vocaloids like stuff. Just be like Daft Punk all over again. I guess this makes sense to have a bit more high end here. This is like dwarfy. This is dwarvy harmony here. Sounds weird, actually. I wonder if I can fix this somehow. Yeah, maybe I should change the pitching a little bit. It just sounded a bit too weird. How high can I pitch it back up without it's not sounding dwarvy anymore? So this is the case where you want to use track spacer, because oh wait, that wasn't the strings, was it? Oh, the strings are here, okay. So you'll just feed the entire bus into this little thing. All the strings. So it'll kind of reduce the resonances on that. And that frequency where the, you know, the strings are playing. So how do we get back to the start? I've modulated now to A flat minor. But there's still time. Okay, so I've made about almost 2 minutes here. Like the bell calling you for dwarf lunch. I guess I can just play this again, but now in A flat. And then we gotta add some little details, maybe like a bass. Didn't I have a bass drum here? Yeah. Just like a bass drum head. Straight up. Just banging a bass drum. They, you know, it's kind of... When should yeah, now we'll kind of just evolve this idea, I guess. My favorite track was in parts 1 and 3. What? Okay. I'm pretty sure I dropped everything. Well, I mean, there might have been like some bits and some. I mean, there is still something that I have that I haven't put out there, but it's like not fit for. Well, I don't know. I'm really curious which track you mean. You should send me the name of it in a DM. Certain sky. No, that was in there. The ska track. It's called Ska. It's in portfolio too. I just renamed some of them, which it might be one of the reasons why it's not as easy to find. So it might have been under a different name. But yeah, look for it in portfolio too, called Ska. We're actually going to use measured tremolo instead of the tremolo. Because then you get these. It goes like. Really, really cool. You can do some really, really cool things with that. Measured tremolo. Renamed for spoiler reasons. It wasn't really a big spoiler. But I just did it anyway. Some of them probably wouldn't have been bad to not rename, but I just wanted to be sure. What? Oh. Oh, of course. 80, but yeah, it's measuring in 16ths. So it's gotta be 120, because that's like triplets of... No, that's not. I cannot math. What would be the triplet time? Sounds like it... 140, that's probably ish. Alright. Yeah, okay, I've got to change the line a little bit to accommodate for that string thing. I'll just make it into this now. Hey! You've joined just as we are about to finish. Welcome. But I'll play the music after I put down this string line. That's the last thing I'll do. That's where I was looking for the first word of the old title. Yeah, that makes sense. Well, I'm glad it's there. Everything should be there that you would have known of, unless you were like a big fan of some sketch that it's like just do slow. We miss you making weird noises in the meetings. Yeah. That was one of my favorite things to do. Even after we had like so many important people. It's important to keep it real. How's the real self? I have to get through here. Here's our little kazoo outro. It's like the most restrained measured tremolo ever. Okay, go. Where's my kazoo? Right here. Okay. Now we'll listen to the fourth track. Hold on, I just gotta add one more thing here. I got. Ah, I need some low treble here. Yes, yes. I should. You know what I might do next time? Yeah. This freaking box. Random stuff. This is one of my favorites, actually. It's like a. It's this picture of like a cow on it, but I don't. I mean, it doesn't really sound like a cow. I used it on Cracker Jacker. It's that track. It's just such a random sound. Anyway, what I wanted to use. Whoops. That's it. That's just the perfectly timed squeaky sound. What's this? Just like. You always gotta have like a squeaky, just like in any random box of noises. Anyway, so the new audio track. Yeah, the gain is like way too high because I'd have to adjust my gain just a little bit. What was that? What the hell? Oh, I see. I just placed it in the wrong place. 1 bar more early. Okay. I don't know if that's gonna work, but I just wanted to try it. Put some reverb on it. The stream is officially over, but is that? I guess the chains. The chains. Yeah, I probably can't do the chains. It's kind of like. It's kind of like dwarves, but kind of like something else. Oh no, what if it gets like sort of slavery connotations? That's why using chains are so dangerous, isn't it? Especially with the singing. I'm gonna try adding a drum just to see. I want to try and make this a little less more muffled drum. Have you guys ever played The Mines of Moria? I played it with Aldrive actually, and it was great. We had a swell old time playing that game. There is some to be desired in that game, but all in all, good game. Would recommend. Yeah. Yeah, I wish there was more to do when you finish the story. I agree. Because it's just you kind of... we finished the thing and we just jumped off the bridge of Khazad-dûm, just killing ourselves at the end. No. The chains, the drums. There's something about it that makes it like a death march. Like you're being marched to your execution or something like that. Especially this drum, this cattle drum. It's like the one they use when at the gallows or whatever. Like that. Right before the dude in the movie gets hanged. But maybe if there's like it's not a chain, but it's like an anvil. I was trying to find an anvil earlier. I think maybe I do have an anvil in here actually. No. I thought I did. Anvils. Metal. Big metal sheet. Chinese symbol. What does a big metal sheet sound like? Okay, what did I expect? It sounds like a big metal sheet. Right. Okay. I should probably love you and leave you there because it's past 10. And yeah. Thank you very much for coming. And to all of those of you who stuck with me to the very end, you're awesome. And to everybody who came to see, you're awesome also. And have a good week and have a good weekend. And I'll probably work on this track again next week. Maybe in between, but I think I'm gonna actually try and finish some of the tracks that I'm almost finished with. In between, I've got a Beholder Lair track that I've finished. I just need to fix on it a bit. It's like super spooky and alien and dark and scary. So that's a bit of ambience for you. And yeah, have a good one. Cool. Bye. Wait. I gotta do something. Yeah, the transition sound.